Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another edition of your favorite program, Press R. On today's edition of Press R, you will have just what you need to know on the new developments in the country. Isn't it too simplistic to attribute the horrible things happening around us to signs of end times? Unimaginable that a woman for that matter, murders her children, her blood, and takes her own life because the husband cheated on her. This same week, still in Yaoundé, another woman pours a bottle of acid on a fellow woman sitting in a beer parlor with her husband. Another case of jealousy. But then, away from those issues, we are going to look at some of the success stories in Cameroon amidst what we know, what is generally said to be at odds. That is, things are difficult in the country. We have invited some entrepreneurs who are going to let us know what they are doing to live above water in this country. So we have some success stories that you will learn from this program today. And at this point, I am going to introduce the panel immediately. Patrick Moa is a desk editor in the Guardian Post newspaper. Patrick, welcome to Press R.
Thank you very much, Killian. I'm sure this should be my first appearance since the start of 2026.
So I should say Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Permit me to introduce Richard Lajong, who is the publisher and editor-in-chief of the Herald Tribune newspaper. This is not your first time. You're welcome in 2026.
Apparently, thanks so much, Killian, and good afternoon to viewers. We're glad once more to be on set, and this time around with some burning societal issues that we have to, put our voices to make sure that at the end of the day, Cameroonians will be able to learn something and know how to make peace with themselves.
Thank you so much for coming. To your left is Theodore Njamshi. He's an economist. You're welcome to Press R once again. Theodore.
Thank you, Killian. Thank you for inviting me. Greetings to our fellow panelists. Greetings to our televiewers. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor indeed to be here to contribute our own share to the socio-economic and political progress of our nation.
Thank you so much. That's just why I invited you to this program, Theodore. Now, I'm going to introduce the entrepreneurs. I'm going to begin with Momodero. Momodero is an entrepreneur. He does so many things. You're welcome to Press R.
Thank you, Killian. I'm happy to be here. Hello, co-panelists. Hello, televiewers. I'm happy to be here to share my ideas, my expertise with my fellow Cameroonians, and why not the world at large.
I think that I will not be wrong to count you as one of the success stories in this country.
Yeah, if you say so. You can't throw flowers on yourself. If people observe you and say you are making it great, it means you're on the right track. So
we are going to discover what you do in the course of this program. Another entrepreneur is here with me, Mr. Awa Nte, who is an entrepreneur. He is involved in agro-industry, particularly in poultry products. He also is involved in high-end fashion. You're welcome to Press R.
Thank you very much, dear host, and it's a pleasure to be here and to, of course, share my journey and, of course, my 2 cents on the socioeconomic activities, socioeconomic problems that have been plaguing our society recently.
You're welcome. You've traveled all the way from Douala. You are based in Douala?
Yes, I am.
Yes, just for Press R. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
Okay, and at this time, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about the press. It's the moment for us to have our press review, and Clovis Bawe read the newspapers for us.
Security concerns humanitarian crisis Economic tensions and social development dominated the columns of Cameroonian newspapers this week. At the continental level, Cameroon Insider opened the week with news of the 39th African Union Summit in Addis Ababa. The paper reports that President Paul Biya's message to the African leaders placed dialogue at the center of efforts to resolve conflicts across the continent. Municipal Updates adds that the head of state address was delivered by the Prime Minister Head of Government, Chief Dr. Joseph Diongute. Back home, crisis narratives resurfaced in the northwest region. The Guardian Post reports that more than 800 people have been rendered homeless in Bat village, Mwa subdivision, following a suspected Fulani attack, a situation described as a growing humanitarian emergency. Yet, amidst the turmoil, Cameroon Tribune carried a note of optimism. The paper reports that in a renewed push for lasting peace in the restive northwest and southwest regions, religious and civil society leaders have been mobilized. This follows an audience granted them by the Prime Minister aimed at reinforcing dialogue and reconciliation efforts. Away from security matters, the Douala Port saga continued to generate heated headlines. Newswatch reports that the Port Authority of Douala has reaffirmed its commitment to safeguarding the security, safety and competitiveness of operations at the maritime hub, particularly regarding the scanning of goods. For the Herald Tribune, however, the blame game persists. The paper reports that the Port Authority accuses custom officials of stalling port activities by refusing to process declarations, a situation it says poses systematic risk to economic stability. For its part, the Guardian Post reports that the Cameroon Employers Association, GECAM, has announced a gradual return to normal operations as Société Générale de Surveillance resumes cargo scanning. Meanwhile, The Horizon highlights political tensions within the executive, reporting that the Prime Minister appears to have been blindsided as the Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic strikes back in the ongoing administrative tussle. Public utilities also made headlines this week, with portable water supply emerging as a national concern. Cameroon Tribune reports that government is raising the bar by seeking substantial funding for investments aimed at improving water production, limiting network losses and ensuring sustainable access to drinking water. Riding on that development, the Guardian Post reports that the Cameroon Water Utilities Corporation, CamWater, has signed financing agreements worth over 111 billion CFA francs with 3 firms to modernize and reconfigure the water distribution network. Then, a tragic story gripped the nation. Newspapers were flooded with reports of the death of 4 people in Colbison, Yaoundé. Cameroon Insider describes the incident as a shocking domestic tragedy, reporting that a woman in her 30s allegedly killed her 3 children before taking her own life, reportedly over suspicions of her husband's infidelity. The Post adds that the Minister of Women's Empowerment and the Family has condemned the act, while investigations continue to shed light on the circumstances surrounding the incident. In a different register, this week also marked the beginning of major religious observances. Cameroon Insider reports that Christians have entered the Lenten season while Muslims began observing the holy month of Ramadan. According to the Post, it is a rare convergence for both communities to begin fasting on the same day, a symbolic alignment that resonates with Cameroon policy of religious tolerance and peaceful coexistence. Viewers, those were the stories shaping conversations across the country this week. Stay with us. Press R is just beginning.
Thank you so much, Clovis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, this is Press R, and we are broadcasting live from Studio 4 of the Production Center of CRTV and Bala 2 in Yaoundé. And we are talking about 2 things today on the program. We will comment on the infanticide that we witness in Yaoundé. Just one infanticide, one too many. That's what we are talking about. Another infanticide, too many in Cameroon. And the other topic, which will be our focus, is amidst all odds, are there success stories in our country? We're going to discover that in the course of this program. So you just stay with us. Patrick,
Yes.
we'll begin with you.
Okay.
One lady takes the lives of her 3 children, children from her own womb, and ends up taking her own life because the husband cheats. horrible, isn't it?
Of course, if there was a better word to have been used other than just describing the incident as being horrible, then I would have preferred that word. But indeed, it's horrible because there's no justification whatsoever why a woman would decide to take the lives of innocent kids who, for no reason, they are not even part of the reason why she first of all got angry in the first place. So there's no reason, there's no justification whatsoever. But I think that there's even a bigger problem to what happened in the Corbison incident. That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
The lady who killed 3 and took her own life. I think the bigger problem is the fact that sometimes society, we tend to ignore certain things and give a blind eye to issues that would have been prevented. Because the testimonies that are coming in actually give the understanding that she had been threatening that she's going to take her life and that of those kids. And so, why is it that all of this happening, nobody raised an alarm? Because apparently that lady was no longer in her senses.
No,
She ought to have been taken to a rehabilitation home, for example, because the neighbors who did not act on time, they can be penalized for that. The penal code actually punishes individuals who fail to assist people who are in danger, because that lady was in danger, and she had been actually threatening that she's going to take her own life, and that's
many
that of
people
those
do
kids.
that, Patrick, in their homes. I bet you, if you go to so many homes now, you will learn that either the woman
Problems are everywhere, of course.
that they are used to, throwing out such, they call, people take them for jokes.
Yeah.
But when it happens, that's when we start talking
That's
this
why
type
we
of
have to.
language.
That's why we indeed have to sit up, because when we take those, once anything that is related to taking the life of somebody is something that cannot be treated with some levity. We must take it seriously, especially when it concerns death threat. And we know, like like individuals around the Corbison neighborhood have been testifying, that it's a protracted crisis that has been raging on between the lady and the husband. It didn't just start on that day. She didn't take that. It wasn't a spontaneous action that she took. It's something that she had conceived the idea long before she finally took that action. It's quite disturbing, because that is not an isolated case. There are so many other cases of not only a woman killing her own kids, but even individuals targeting we know about the recent incident in Yaoundé that happened last year, when the name just went off my mind, that shot the little boy.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
those incidents are quite recurring, and I think that we have to sit up as and put up collective efforts to ensure that such doesn't happen again.
Now, Daryl, Patrick is condemning. All of us are condemning such acts. It is also so simple to say that somebody threatens you, you take the person to either court, to the gendarme, to police. If your woman jokes, because that's generally it happens as if it were a joke, say, I will kill you. Those are very common things that happen. Will you take that woman, your wife or your friend? Let's just say your woman tells you, I will kill you. You will take that woman to court or to the police or gendarmerie? Because that's what is happening to some people, even now as we speak.
It's a very difficult situation, because people differ. You must first of all know the type of woman you are living with. That's why I always advise men, when you are about to get married, don't only concentrate on love. Check about the family in which you are getting into. It's very important. Equally check to know if the family, your would-be in-laws, they like you, because they can interrogate your wife from behind, and a lot of things will happen in your home, and they will be blaming you. You ask a question, if my wife tells me that, I will see what will be my action. First of all, I've been with her for close to 15 years. I know what she can do and what she cannot do. But for the case of Corbison, I think it's very different. Some people are claiming that the man is a bad husband. I can understand how a man is a bad husband. You had the first child, the second child, the third child with a man. You claim today that is very bad. For killing your own kids and killing yourself shows that you are a very bad partner. So I don't think that taking traits from a partner should be taken seriously. But it depends on the type of partner you have in the house. Not only from your partner, from your business partners too. I remember last time when I went to Kolafamba, I bought a plot there because the guy had a disagreement with the family. When I was about to approach, get into the land, he removed a machete and said, if I get there, you follow me with the machete. I took him to the police, to the Gendarmerie Legion, but they took it very lightly. No, il ne faut plus faire ça. C'est man, c'est ton frère. And that was all. He was never punished. Imagine the next time he would take the machete out. Maybe you put somebody down.
You already did a good thing by taking him to the Gendarmerie, to the police. That's what Patrick started saying. So
he was never punished. So next time some people are copying, he went there and came back. He was never punished because he went and spoke in the dialect. I don't know what.
Actually, not the dialect. Is that courts don't punish intentions?
No, intentions are punishment in law. I think penal code in Article 94 punishes intention. If, for example, I'm not saying that my man, Chief Patrick, can die. If somebody intentionally carries machete to come and harm him, and when the person gets there, he discovers that Moa is no more. If the law gets to know that your intention was to come and kill him, and you went and met him dead, they will punish you as somebody who killed Moa.
You have ended by saying that you met the person already dead.
But their intention was to come and kill him, although he's already dead. But that is why I'm saying that
in the case where no act is done.
If you on your way,
you can be sued for
mother. If you're on your way, it's punishable by law. That is one of the material elements to consider before a judgment is passed.
Richard,
yes,
we are only saying the woman was not a good partner, because it happened this way. We forget that some of these women get to such extremes which nobody condones because of the behavior of the man. So what do you say about this other side of the story?
Yeah, in as much as we want to condemn the woman to say what she did was totally wrong, and like some people have said, if that she needs, even in her grave, she should be flogged again. Well, punishment is reserved to God, because only God knows how she is going to treat that kind of a person. And about this case, well, I will not also blame the woman 100%. Her act was caused by the fact that it's alleged her husband was cheating on her. And like Daryl said, if your husband had been cheating on you, and for the number of years you have been together with him, and with the number of children, and she has been cheating on you, why would you decide? Why don't you, confront your husband face on and maybe solve the matter? Why would you take the lives of innocent children? Moa said it, that those children are not connected, they are very unconnected with the cheating husband. So, but how involved are those children in that case of
infidelity? They are innocent children, as you say. But one other thing where probably the solution was not on site is we are still just getting different parts of the story. We are told that the husband called her from an airport saying he was already on his way out of the country.
Well, I don't know. Was with,
Voila. You understand? Like that.
Yeah,
for a woman who depended solely on this man, it's a shock. It's a shock to her.
It is a shock, Killian. But it doesn't warrant you.
No, not at all.
To take the lives of innocent children plus your own life. It doesn't. Because you see, let me quickly come in to say that I'm also happy with the fact that the Minister of Women Empowerment, Madam Teresa Abena,
Professor
Teresa Abena Ondwa, quickly came in to condemn the issue. She did not wait for her instructions before condemning, and is trying to say that the law protects children, and we should understand this, that children should be protected at every moment, no matter what differences spouses have between amongst themselves, it should never get to the level of affecting the children. So it's quite a sad situation, which we think that, like others said, it is high time we get to have clinical counselors, because when you get a thing like that, had it been those who heard that woman threatening and reported this issue even to a clinical counselor, she would have been counseled, and what she did wouldn't have happened. Unfortunately, we don't have these people. Even if they are there, I think there are few, and many people do not know them.
Yes, Theodore, we're going to get your contribution. But what I know that's happening in our country, for the most part, is that when there's something happening in your neighbor's house, we generally say it doesn't concern me. And we know things that happen near us where we live. So what you, all of you, Patrick, Dero, and Richard, and I think also all of you ladies and gentlemen are saying, is that if you notice such behavior around you, you signal to the forces of law and order or to the social services. Now, Theodore will get your own contribution.
It opens a bigger question, a bigger problem that society faces. Women too are going through a lot of issues. Last time it was a man that did that to somebody's child, and now you have a woman who takes away the life of her own children and takes away her own life too. Whether we still value life the way they used to be, I don't really know. But you know, in the world here, we have about 700,000 suicides that occur every year. In Africa, we have 1.16 million newborns die every year. And when this one happens in this dramatic fashion, it really raises a lot. It really poses a situation to us. How do we now solve this, how approach this type of crisis, depression like that? Maybe this violence on children and things of that sort. At one point, we thought structures like UNICEF, you talk of Plan Cameroon, has doing a lot in that area, had done a lot of work to cover a lot of grounds, but it's like we still have a lot to do. I think we need to go down, not just at level of the state, NGOs, but down to the family. How do we dictate this type of behaviors, and whom do we rush to? Maybe we need to reinforce the structures that we have. If not, you said one too many lives. Maybe we may have others, but we need to see a way out of it, see how we can prevent this. And equally, listen to people when they express their pains. Because if they listen to this woman's pain, we condemn the act totally. I think if I listen to her pain, somehow, it would have been preventive to a level.
Okay. Please, just to add that, we still have some women, we still have some women who think that to punish a man, you have to harm the kid or take the kid away from him. That can never be a solution. It's not necessary to hurt, to think that in order to hurt a man, you have to keep the child away from the man, or you carry such a terrible act done as this one did in Cobison. So in order to punish a man, maybe her intention was to punish a man, but the man can still have as many as even 40 children before she's on time. So her act was really out of foolishness, as I can say.
You call it foolishness, some of us will call it wickedness. Now,
Wickedness and even cowardice.
Patrick, maybe Cameroon government should start, and Cameroonians should start behaving like it's done in the United States. That is, if you threaten your children, your own children, if you fail to...
Calling the police.
Yes, you fail to do what you're supposed to do as a parent, they come in and then they take the children away from you to a social home where it's not the government taking care of the children there. You pay for the upkeep of the children in that place. Maybe we should get to this level.
That's right.
Before we got there.
Yes, a while ago, Theodore was, he made mention of the punishment. Sometimes the punishment that people who commit such acts they get at the end of the day isn't commensurate to the magnitude of the crime that was committed. Because, for example, it is a digression, so to say, but it still concerns kids. The Ngabu incident of 2020. Look at the ruling of the Yaoundé Military Tribunal that a soldier is convicted for 5 years in prison for killing children in Ngabu, and others 10 years, and the person who even got the 10 years is rather a civilian who assisted the soldiers and directed them to Ngabu for the killing. And those kids were killed on Valentine's Day, 14th of February 2020. Look at the judgment that the Yaoundé Military Tribunal passed. It doesn't discourage people from committing such acts. If they know that at the end of the day, you can take the life of an innocent child and you go to jail for 5 years.
It's even the president. I think you were going to, first of all, acknowledge that they were punished, because those are things we did not used to know.
That should be the rule. That should be. It's not. There's nothing extraordinary for somebody to be punished, because even be it a soldier or a civilian, there's nothing extraordinary for somebody being punished. We cannot mount rooftops and start applauding government that, for once they have sanctioned soldiers. That should be the normal. It's according to international standards. So soldiers should be punished for acts that go out of the conventional rule that they are mandated to carry out. And so what I'm saying is that you look at the Ngabu incident, for example. I still insist, those, for majority of them, are virtually already spend the number of years that the judgment has been. They have completed. They have virtually
if actually they were detained.
Because
if actually they were detained.
No, they were arrested in 2020.
We're in 2026. No, I've been to a military tribunal. I saw them. I'm saying that they were arrested in 2020 and we're in 2026, which means for most of them, they have virtually completed their prison terms. That doesn't.
Yeah, thank you so much for.
Do you think that with such a judgment, will other soldiers be discouraged from or learn from the mistake that was committed by their peers? It's a serious issue.
Yes.
And if we continue this way,
just the prison term is already.
It is very lenient. They deserve maximum punishment.
We have someone who are not yet.
What are we talking about? We're talking about the life of kids.
We have someone who are not yet commented on this. I'm going to call on you, Awa, to talk about this horrendous crime that was committed in Yaoundé.
Yes, thank you, Kilian. And once again, it's a pleasure to be here. About the horrendous crime that was committed, it's easy for people to say quickly that this is mental health. I listen to people say mental health issue. The husband did this, the husband did that. And I would like to evoke a simple principle of law. That's which is my background. There is agency, meaning everybody there's cause and then there's reaction to this cause. And usually, historically, in our communities, this issue highlights a problem. What do I mean by problem? It means that historically, African communities used to be together. Meaning that when there's an issue like this, people come and they condemn it quickly, right? Now, our traditional systems have progressively failed, and I think religion is there now to at least guide us morally on what we are supposed to do. But unfortunately, not everybody is following that light. So the lady in question, what she has done is horrible. It's a horrible thing. It's inexcusable. And there's no way that we can say that they can evoke the husband's responsibility, because she has a community. People said that she had a father that was not present in her life. They also said that she had a mother that, according to what I'm listening to, that was depressive, right? And all of these things do not excuse her action. Because you see three people that have issues in the marriage. One person seeks counsel, another person seeks divorce, but another person commits violence. How do you explain that? And now my co-panelist mentioned that many women nowadays, they look at children as an avenue to get back at the husband, you see. So you want to understand that, does this woman not love her children? Yes, indeed, she loves her children. But I believe that the need to prove a point to her husband supersedes that love for her children. The kind of resentment that she has towards her husband superseded the love that she has for her children.
Yes, exactly.
And she knew that she could only make a point and kind of ruin the husband by killing the children. Yes. And that's something that we need to firmly condemn in the society today.
Thank you so much. You've stated the other part, the other side of the story, which Richard also highlighted. And we're going to move away from that crime, the horrible crime of infanticide in Yaoundé, to our focus. And our topic of discussion for today, focus is amidst all odds in Cameroon, are there success stories in the country? Now, I'm going to start just one minute for each of you. Is our situation so bad? That's why we say amidst all odds, because many people are saying there are no jobs, the environment is harsh. So many other things. People are struggling to survive and the rest. I will start with Richard.
Well, yeah, it is not really as bad as we think, but it also depends on how you plan yourself. If you plan yourself or plan your program so well, I think you will not feel it as somebody who just sits and is waiting to only eat. You know, I talk as the publisher of the Herald Tribune, where I should say things are difficult, but at least I am pushing.
Exactly. That's why I brought you.
Yeah, I am pushing. I'm making it because I go to press regularly. Even if there is nothing that takes me to press, like trying to sponsor that edition, I still make an effort to go to press to satisfy my readers. And with that, at the end of the day, because when you're also regular, people have confidence, people have some trust in you and say, no, if this person is regular, I think it's somebody we can do some business with.
Thank you. I just wanted that briefly. We'll get into it deeper.
Okay.
No, not you, because you are one example we're going to use. Patrick, you are not complaining. I saw you drove into CRTV Production Center. You are fine. You are living in Yaoundé in your own house. Patrick.
And he's a sub chief.
Yeah. Everything is not bad.
We are just driving. We sometimes go an extra mile just to cover the poverty that's on us.
Sure.
It's not that the fact that I drove into Seattle.
Okay, when you enter the car you are driving, the roof of the car cover the poverty.
I mean, when somebody sees you, no, this man is not as poor as they think.
And he's a smart one guy too.
On a serious note, it's not easy, because if you look at the poverty index of the country where we belong, it is true that usually I don't always want to go by the perception of poverty, the way the West looks at poverty in Africa. When they start talking about family living less than $1, for example, in where I come from, for example, an average household doesn't need $1. $1 should be 530 francs. They don't need $1 to feed for a day, because virtually we produce what we consume. You have vegetable behind the house, you have corn, maybe you are going for red oil that you can get for 200 francs. So this thing of perceiving poverty to be an issue of living above $1 in a day, it doesn't really make sense especially in our African context, where we virtually produce most of what we consume. But I think that on a more serious note now,
when that is assessed, I think even what you produce falls into that assessment. Continue.
Yes. On a more serious note now, I think talking about the environment, I think it's bad. I tried business some 5 years ago, and I had to fold it up because so many our taxation, there's no country that can ever develop when that country, they depend on taxation to run the nation, to run the economy. We are overtaxed in this country. You look at a small provision store, the number of taxes that are demanded from those business people, sometimes it's better to just stay off business than keep. Sometimes when I look at Dero, he's a friend and very close. When I look at him, I think that Dero should be moving around university lectures halls and giving practical, lectures on how young people should be able to survive in business, because it's not easy. If you look at the statistics of the number of startups that go out of business 2-3 years after taking off, you'll be terrified. Yeah. And so I think that for the few success stories, they are there. They'll always be there. Even in the most difficult environment, you always still have people who will triumph even where others stumbled. But I don't think that we cannot just use a few examples to think that all is well. All is not well. Our business climate is not the best for locals and even for foreigners to invest because of taxes and all the other bottlenecks that you are aware of.
Thank you so much. When I follow news about the United States of America, which is a kind of model for the world in so many aspects of life, they're always talking about cutting taxes, increasing taxes, reducing taxes.
Yes,
So
depending
it is not a Cameroonian affair. But
Yeah, what are you taxing? Elsewhere, when you taxation should be
somebody starts a
commiserated to the-
provision,
Yes,
or
I'm saying that.
just put a small box with a capital of say
just to
25,000.
legalize-
The next day the
Just
council
to
is
make
around.
sure
Can
you
you tax
follow the
it?
norms of creating a poultry, a piggery farm. The delegate asked for about 70,000 francs, and I asked him, "Why are you instead of encouraging young Cameroonians to come into this sector,
To a sector
you
that-
were asking for 70,000
They're
francs?"
asking from
And I
for
told
70,000.
him that, please, I'm a trained journalist and I have colleagues who are journalists. I'm going to give them this information so that the minister should be aware that is what they are asking Cameroonians.
So he retracted.
No, he called me back that we should negotiate. So you must be courageous to face them.
a good one.
If you don't
Okay.
face them, it will be difficult for
thank
you to
you.
succeed.
We have an economist on the set. That's why I brought someone like him. I wanted you to get the opinions of the other panelists, what they think about the situation, economic situation of the country. But from you, what is the real situation, economic situation of our country?
Cameroon has been through a lot, the late 80s and early 90s. The economic crisis, you had the devaluation and a lot of issues that pushed us into borrowing a lot of money left and right. And you realize that the oil wells too had been drying up, not really producing the way it has always been doing. And though the government too had tried to look at other sources of income apart from taxation, it's been a huge challenge too. We have the business environment is not really the best, but a lot of efforts have been made to improve it. About this political instability is a challenge that, I mean, we all know that we have to come to a point where we try to eliminate that.
Yeah, we
But-
are told that in the Central African sub-region, Cameroon's economy is the most resilient.
Yes, by the World Bank and the IMF.
Which
they-
other
they
economies
come
are we
about that
talking
so
about
much.
in Semak?
Yeah.
In Semak,
Which
I
other
mean,
economies? So
did
should
you
we be
expect,
boastful that we are the
African
most stable
Republic
economy in Semak?
or
Comparing
Gabon
with
Those are-
Chad,
to
Gabon,
do
Central
that?
Africa,
When countries like
the-
Kenya, I was in
that's
Kenya.
a wrong-
President.
report,
We
some
are
very
a
report,
sub-region.
which sub-region
That
are we
is
talking
a wrong
about?
comparison.
The-
brother.
the
Where
report-
are the other nations?
the report talks of Cameroon as
Okay.
a middle low-income country, that's a low-middle-income country that has a resilient economy. That's the IMF report there. But we still have a lot of challenges within the economy. If you look at even the NDS, why they pick out the 4 pillars, trying to work on maybe transformative projects, it's about improving the business environment. Because as we all know, the government says it severally, the government alone cannot be the answer to this. There is this, under the growth and employment strategy paper, there was something that was very important. You create growth, yeah, but there should be jobs. When there are jobs, you expect that probably incomes too are going to improve over time. People have a better living condition, hoping that things like inflation are held below the 3% ceiling that have been placed. But so far, inflation has been above that level. Youth unemployment is a big issue. So what we're saying is that around the table, there is difficult still to have additional bread. Even to have the bread is a problem. But generally, the economy is coming out from a hole where we found ourselves. That's why we have a 25-year plan. We are not yet, if you look at even the report that we had, they talked of we had to close the gap between population growth and GDP growth. That's GDP growth from 2012 to 2021 has been 4%. Population growth has been 2.6%. That's 1.6% gap. The hope was that you could take it to 1.9 and reduce poverty from 37.5% that we had in 2014, maybe to 28.7% 2022. But it's been challenging because the economy is also very, very stubborn.
Okay.
So we have a difficult environment, which I think the government too has been trying its own, though there have been better ways of including everybody. Everybody has a stake in it.
Now we are
and
going
how
to
push
take
across the
no,
board.
we are going to take your example now.
Yeah.
We have to.
No, let me come before you take my example.
No,
please, I want to, because these figures are giving us that IMF, that's the very figure they told the Burkina base that they cannot develop because they are poor, they are below. But today, have you seen what Captain Traore is doing in Burkina Faso? I don't want to take the white star to Josh House here. I don't want to take
we have a
figures.
national
That-
statistics.
No, we are going
A lot
to
that
take
give us a lot of data
we are
too,
going to
based
take
on
two
their own findings,
cases.
too.
Yeah.
We'll take you now, Dero, Momo Dero, and after you, we are going to take Mr. Awa, say who is an entrepreneur like you. Now tell us, what are you involved in? No, you.
I keep birds, I have domestic.
That's for the no, that's just for consumption.
No, I don't
But,
go consumption. Have you seen the pantaloons I have at home?
Okay.
I keep birds.
we'll come to your home.
I'm coming to your place.
At least part-time business.
Yes, tell us your
Somehow.
story. How did you get
Everybody.
involved? First, you tell us how many sectors are you involved in? How did you start? Please try to summarize.
Okay. I am the proprietor of Diplomat Holdings. It's a conglomerate company made up of Diplomat Construction and Real Estate. Here we build houses. We have contracts that will build houses. We immatriculated lands. We give land meaning, and then we now discuss with the landowners to give our own percentage of the plot. We have Diplomat Auto.
I want you to concentrate on agriculture.
Okay.
Because that is where I have
that
actually
is
seen
Diplomat Piggery, Diplomat Farms. Diplomat Farms, we have Diplomat Piggery Farms. We have a pineapple farm. We have a plantation farm. And with this, how did I start? I was brought up in a small village in known division, Fumot. That's where I was partially brought up. And I used to see the way my own neighbors would produce, would go to the farm, produce and sell and pay fees. So when I started having difficulties, that's the first thing I had in mind. How do I turn to the farm to make a lot of money? And I used to follow this man of God of late T.B. Joshua. He used to prophesy about agriculture, that if you invest in land...
Start with pigs. We're seeing some of the pigs that are from
yeah, this pig, it started... I had a German Shepherd. But the way I used to feed this German Shepherd, when my mom came here, she told me that, please, the way you are feeding this German Shepherd, if you feed pigs, they will give you a lot of money. I immediately sold that dog and bought 4 pigs. And that's how I started nursing them, giving them a lot of attention and investing in. From 4 female, I brought 1 male, and I crossed these 4 females, and they gave me 40 piglets. That's how my farm started. Now, as a journalist, I started communicating, selling what I have, telling the public through the social media what I can offer. That's why I gathered. I won a lot of customers, clients who were really interested in my product. When the first person started, I had to go for research. What can I bring in that others pig farmers are not bringing in? Then I discovered that I had to organize seminars, training. I started training and selling my piglets today, and following them up to make sure.
What's the population?
No, I had 200 pigs, 120 females, sows, and then 80 males. But these males are used mostly for fattening. I can use about 10 for reproduction. Then the rest now.
Yes, I know you're also involved in fish farming and other things. Talk now about the plantation.
Plantation, I just started pineapple farm. It's not up to 4 months. I started. I'm still developing it. With the plantation, no, it's doing well because I use the dungs from the pig farm.
Piggery.
Yeah, piggery, and then I spread it around. So it's a natural manure. It's very bio. And what I do is that I work with a lot of guys. I employ a lot. I took some from my village, some around here, and we are constantly on the farm to check what is not going on. And then I learned too. I'm a member of African Pig Farmers Association. I'm one of the founders. So we discuss a lot. I met people there who are knowledgeable more than me. I go down, we learn. The world, it's true that the internet has made the world a global village square. Through the internet, WhatsApp, we do videos, they tell me what to do, and then how I can move on and make money. That's how I follow.
Now,
and equally,
we had a big flow.
Swine flu.
Swine flu this year that caused a lot of devastation to those who are keeping pigs. How many did you lose?
No, that is a risk involved. Not even one.
What did you do?
Because of biosecurity. My pig farm is not a touristic site. Even my man, Patrick, cannot even get in. When he visits me in the house, I will not permit him to get there. So only my workers get there. And then we disinfect ourselves. You can see the camera guys, when they came, the first thing is that you disinfect yourself so as not to carry any disease or virus to the farm. So that's what they do. Today, I can say that thanks to the pig, I'm able to build a house in Yaoundé and in the village. So it's not a bad business. But we're facing a lot of difficulties on the field. I just spoke to some of my colleagues and told them not to go on strike. Because what is happening is that butchers around Ritiem, Mvokada, they will buy pigs that are infected, go and pack them in the cow house. When the disease is about to be eradicated, they'll bring it out to infect. Because when they infect other pigs, they buy it. Pigs that you are supposed to sell at 500,000.
That actually happens.
The pig that you were supposed to sell for about 500,000 francs, they're buying it at 60,000 francs. there's no way you can continue that.
That's
line
an
of
alarm,
business.
Patrick, that he's
So
placing.
yes, so we are calling on the minister and the people in charge to take that into consideration. They should go to Mvokada co-houses with him, destroy all those pigs, test the pigs that are there, and destroy the pork that is there, and destroy everything. Because
No,
most of them,
it should first of all be ascertained
yes,
that what you are saying.
when they go to test, they'll do the test, they'll do the test and discover.
Investigation,
To
and
be
then
sure that they are
Yeah.
fit for
Yeah, because normally
He
it
has
used,
blown the whistle.
normally it used to be the swine flu used to be around June to about September, but this year it started in March and it is still continuing as we speak.
Which is very abnormal.
Which is very
Thank
abnormal.
you for raising that.
Yes.
Now I'm going to meet another person who has distinguished himself, our chair. You in 2018 already were among the top 20 young entrepreneurs in Africa. As young as you are, tell us more about what you're doing that distinguishes you. I should also say that I didn't know that you're involved in what you call high-end fashion. You produce things like the one you have on you.
Yes.
Did you bring some for press panelists?
Yeah, I think we can discuss about that after the show.
Okay. So now tell us about the area where you distinguish yourself.
Yes, so I began as a poultry farmer and later on transformed. I promoted myself into more of supply chain. So it became, I left active raising chickens into now being a platform where chicken farmers could sell their chicken and their eggs as well. Then meanwhile, I positioned myself like a middleman where I supplied to the supermarkets. That was more structure and it was less stress for me to manage. And then from then on, I went to the fashion business where I do haute couture as like what I'm wearing. Yes, basically dressing people, that's it.
When the President of the Republic says that he wants to empower the youth, that he wants youth to be in this entrepreneurship business, when he talks about that and you are already in it, do you feel that, yes, you have to carry the others along, or you still have to want to go up to him and ask that, okay, you are here, he should empower you more?
Yeah, so I believe I have been exposed to a lot more. I've been given a bigger platform, and so
Which one is that?
I mean, I've been given more in life, more. I've benefited more. For example, that was an African stage where I was top 20 entrepreneurs, and I have friends from all over Africa, and we are actively competing. And I feel responsibility towards my country. I feel responsibility towards other people who are struggling to make it, because ultimately we are representations of where we come from. No matter how much we try to maybe say belittle the country or belittle its officials, we are ultimately a product of where we come from, right? And we must learn how to separate our lack of, like our non-alignment with the government policy with our love for our country. We must do that. And so right now, part of me being here is just to educate Cameroonians in my own small way of how to navigate the difficulties. And I'm here to make them understand that the society is fraught with challenges, but regardless of those challenges, we can survive. Regardless of government policy, we can survive, because I believe saying that the government is doing X, Y, Z, and that's what's stopping me from being who I am, it means I'm automatically removing the power from myself to change something.
How many youth have you pulled along, or are you pulling along?
So,
and what are the challenges, some of the various challenges that you have?
Yeah, so one of my panelists said it's important for my colleague who is an entrepreneur as well to start training people in university, right? And I am currently running a course at the level of Form 5 and high school in a particular school called St. Mary's, where we do entrepreneurship, leadership, and career design for the first time, and as well in the university, because we need to teach children practical lessons. The dilemma comes where people go to school and they believe school is supposed to be an end in itself. And they become very frustrated in the end when it is not that end. School for me today is an identity card. It's not a guarantee of anything. So when you go to school, don't allow the fact that you went to school to limit you in what you have to become. School should be a gateway. We are living in the age of information. So you should do your best to capitalize. How do you explain that we're living in the age of information and yet we have more problems than what we had before? It's not making any sense. So I am for the fact that we should caution people our government is supposed to represent the best of us, basically. We should caution them when they do, when the policies don't align. But I'm also of the opinion that we should believe in self-determination and understand that working together, that's the most important thing, collective. Remember, he said he cautioned as a journalist, he said, he'll tell his other colleagues are journalists, and the person already retracted. So we can collectively decide, right? Let the criticism be general. If we are working together as farmers, something happens like that, we can, once we are united, we can easily ask for certain things to be done, and they're going to be done.
Dero, back to you before I go to Patrick and Richard to comment on what they've listened from you, they've listened to you, and what they get from your experience and from our experience. What will you want to have to propel what you are doing already?
The government should collaborate with entrepreneurs. Let me just take one case. I signed a partnership with AfriFuture.
I think government, before you continue,
let me just
does. I listened to a program on CRTV this week. It's from the Ministry of Livestock. It's a program, and they were talking about just in 2025, beginning 2026, that ministry has trained about 500, empowered about 500 youth.
I'm not cutting you short. I have a neighbor. I have a neighbor. She's a wife of a former minister.
Don't give the
I will not give the name. So please, she's having about 10 pigs, but they're tarring the road to her farm because of the 10 pigs. But I'm having about 200. Nobody's coming to me. Even when I want to go and have the certificate, they certify what I'm doing, they're asking me for money. So they might be right to say that they've trained more than, because they know who they're training and who they're giving the subsidies to. But I have told you that I'm a founder of African Pig Farmers Association. I was in Kenya, Nairobi, last week, and I've been giving lessons to a lot of Africans online and Cameroonians. We share ideas. There are a lot of things to talk about how our government can come in to assist. As I was saying, I signed a partnership with AfriFuture. AfriFuture is an NGO that's empowering women around Nyon Ekele division. Yesterday, we were in a sector to supply 100 piglets. And let me tell you that my pickup is parked at home. I was supposed to go back on Tuesday, but there's no way I can go because of the nature of the roads. Just leaving Bumyewe to a Seka is a nightmare. I had about 5 or 6 piglets that died because of the condition of the road. And farm to market, it's not farm to market road. So it is difficult. These are the type of things that we work on. We are not asking that come and give us 100,000 francs. No, but there's some facilities that can enable us work well.
Well,
now, Kila, I was supposed to get back.
That starting capital, the initial capital.
It's not the issue. The first thing is a mindset. You can give them 100 million. If they are not prepared, if you've not worked on their mindset, they will not make it. Okay. Now, I was in Kenya last week to attend agro show for 2026 organized by the Kenyan government, and I sponsor myself there. I learned of it from a friend, Nyo Israel Boyi, who works with forest stewardship. And when he told me, I said, now this is an opportunity for me to network. So I now sponsor myself and went there. It's the mindset. If you give me the money without the mindset, I might not make it. So how do we train our kids in school to have that mindset? Not telling them about the founder of about European history. No, we get them lessons that practical issues in life.
Thank you, Patrick. Yeah. You have listened to these two examples that I think they are just what we can call success stories. Your take. We are moving. We have about 5 minutes to go.
Well, I think Dero has said virtually everything. He has enumerated a good number of challenges that they are facing, because even though we consider him a success story by his own right, maybe he's not at the level of his full potential. If he had all the opportunities like he has enumerated, maybe he would have expanded his business holding to a larger scope, and then even employ more Cameroonians, because he mentioned a while ago that he has recruited guys who are coming from his village in Baba and all of that to work here in Yaoundé, live here in Yaoundé, and make income for themselves and their families. So imagine that if these challenges were not really there as some speed breaks, he would have expanded his business to higher heights and make more money for himself and others.
Richard, with your own business, which is publishing, you have a newspaper. We can see the way you are. You are not complaining.
But he is.
I see what I said.
But he's fine.
When you don't look at
But he's fine. He's fine.
It doesn't mean that you're not.
But my man might be fine.
We're crying and smiling at the same time.
We do this thing just to keep going, to cover the poverty. I mean, so that when you dress well, maybe a director or a minister sees, so, this. I think this is somebody we can trust. Banks don't give loan to somebody who doesn't have big investment. Yeah. They come to you and they know that you have big investment. So when I look good, I think they will have some confidence in me.
And that's one of the principles of in journalism. If you don't,
well, anyway, let me come back to the point. I think Dero said so much, and I really appreciate him. What the methods he's using in order to sell himself out. I think we belong to a WhatsApp group with over 500 journalists, and from time to time he comes to share his ideas, even about the real estate issue. He comes from time to time to encourage.
Which WhatsApp group is that? Why are you?
Where you are the vision bearer. And so I think that in the Herald Tribune,
don't mind.
In the Herald Tribune, I can proudly say that we are doing well, and one of my reporters, to say the least, runs a pressing owned by himself, by him, and I'm sure it's from what he has made from the Herald Tribune that he's able to, he doesn't want to lay all put his eggs in one basket.
And that's why
but he's trying to diversify. Now he has a pressing, and tomorrow he may have other things. Just like I'm also planning, I am looking forward to going into fish farming, because we also have to diversify.
I'm there to help
you. So I will meet Dero after this and we'll talk about that.
Yes, Theodore.
There is always what they call the active income and the passive income. No matter what you do to have a better living condition, it's good to depend also on your passive income, like doing other things, businesses and all what you do to like up whatever you earn. I like the experience that we have here on set shows that at least the issue of social so that's networking, what we call social capital, is really, really important too. And people taking that risk to enter into business no matter the difficult condition. That is an example that many young people have to really embrace, especially with the import substitution program that we have, 2024, 2026. Special program, and why not the 50 billion that the budget provides for?
What are the conditions to benefit?
Thank you
What
so
are the conditions to benefit from the 50 million? Where are we getting the 50 million?
That would be our last word.
Look at
have the microphone.
Look at
that's your way out.
Okay, thank you, Kilian. I think this is one of the best opportunities I had to express myself, to tell the world what I'm doing. And I want to plead. I learned President Biya just granted 50 billion francs for the government to encourage entrepreneurs. I really wish to know the procedures that I can. I don't wish. I just wish to know more well connected. I learned he's afraid to.
Now we are going to get the last word. We're going to get the last word of our auntie, who is an entrepreneur too. Way out in 1 minute.
Okay, so now that we don't have any control over whether or not the government gives money or who they give money to, what do we do? I think the option that we have is to work collectively. I also think that the private sector in this country is not being entirely honest. I think there are a lot of things that they are concealing, and because everybody is saying that the country is difficult, right? But when you go to the banks and you turn around people's accounts, it tells a different story.
Thank you.
Some people are doing very well, and they are pretending that the country is difficult, and they are because they don't want to transmit the knowledge or the know-how of what they are doing, and they want to eat everything alone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard Lajong, publisher, editor-in-chief of the Herald Tribune. Thank you, Moa Patrick, desk editor, the Guardian Post newspaper, Momo Dero. Thank you so much. You are an entrepreneur. We also want to thank you so much, Awa, an entrepreneur, and Theodore Njamsi, an economist. We do not know how to thank you because you are so precious to us, watching us from your homes, from your laptops, along the streets with the gadgets that you have, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching.